I can just ask him in a second.
Okay.
Does everybody else have their PPE? Am I the only one without it?
I have mine, and I think Britt said she had hers. But I think you would just add 30 to that, and then depending on your class, you get extra.
Yeah, I know if I
after
put
that
more
too.
points in my type, I get more, but I need 20 XP a dot for that.
Okay, we are back. We are live once again for more Rifts Survivors Dawn with everybody updated. Oh my goodness. It's been a 6 months time lapse from the last time we've played. So we've got an opening narration to go with that. However, why don't I have somebody give us a game recap? But just before we do that, we have monthly XP to roll. So does somebody want to roll 1d4 plus 1?
I'll get it.
Okay.
Do we not get birthday XP because Shelly's not here?
That is correct.
Okay. Next.
5. Score.
Yeah.
Ooh,
Woohoo!
nice.
Thanks, Mike.
Yeah.
Hey Jerry, we were just talking about. I don't like. What is the formula for PPE? I don't know. I don't think I got mine. I didn't get mine.
Okay, so
Or we can get it later if you want.
no, I don't want to forget about it. Hold on a second. Okay, so this is for everybody. Technically, if you want to write this down, even if you're not a spellcaster, it's going to be your stamina plus willpower times 2. And the reason why everybody technically has some is because if somebody decides to use you as a sacrifice to say open up another rift or bring a demon through or some sort of nasty magic, they can kill you and get that PPE.
Stamina plus willpower times 2.
Times 2. That is the base.
And we get how much when we gain it?
I'm sorry, what?
How do we upgrade it?
You won't. Oh, unless you're a spellcaster, yes. Sorry. You're, so, Brittany, I thought we already went over this with you.
We did, but I didn't write it down. I'm just writing it in my notes at this point.
Okay. Well, the base for spellcasters start off at 30. Because you get 30 for having the 1 dot in whatever it is that you are magically inclined for, D shifter or whatever. And then you get stamina plus willpower times 2 for an initial base. If you're not a spellcaster, then it's just stamina plus willpower times 2.
Okay, I was worried. I was just like, I don't have enough points to do my magic.
Yeah, same thing. You get anytime that you level up the spellcaster wise, you get 30. You get 30 per dot until you get to level 5, and then it's 50.
Wow.
Is that 120, 170 to be bought?
Correct.
Plus your. Now, if I up my stamina or willpower, does that affect my PPE?
No.
Okay.
Good question.
I don't know. It seems like a gain in willpower would help my psychic power. Psycho Crusher. Sorry, that's just in my head now.
Oh, and how do we replenish spent PPE?
You relax. Same
like
thing
a long
as
rest kind of thing.
Yep, same thing as a resting, or, and this is where it can get kind of fun. Hang out in a blue zone.
Oh, okay, cool.
I need to recharge.
Right, exactly. That unfortunately, but fortunately, that is one of the things that make anyone, good or bad, spellcasters, potentially very vicious around anything blue zone. That'd be a ley line or rift. That's one of the reasons why they're so dangerous.
I'm gonna open a neutral zone dance club on a blue zone.
Okay.
Have fun with that.
Elysium.
Are you going to call it Pocket D or something?
Yep, sounds
Okay.
like a good catchy name.
Can we just stick a straw in Dale? He doesn't need his PPE.
Hey, I need to live. Sheesh.
Technically,
Capri
yeah.
Sun.
If for some reason non-magic types lose all their PPE, they do die.
Yeah.
It is considered a form of vampirism. So,
Do they also replenish by being in a blue zone?
no.
Because we don't spend our PPE.
Correct. You don't spend your PPE.
Do not drink your friends.
Don't shoot the food.
Dale just became the party's ghoul.
Yeah,
Oh no.
exactly. Oh no.
Come on, juice bag, let's go.
I'm glad
Okay.
I'm a flying robot.
So we need somebody to give us a game recap real quick now that we've got XP out of the way.
Let's see who did the last one. Oh wow, there's a lot of notes here.
that was...
Oh, welcome, Paul McGinn. He said he's moving on to this after he gets caught up with Darkest Dawn. So,
All right, well, Shelly did the last one, so let me see if I can summarize. Because
Shelly just resubscribed. She's been subscribed for 23 months.
Woohoo.
All right, so at the bunker, we pulled everybody together, introduced ourselves to each other, like and what our capabilities are. We had at the time a distress signal at my map. At the Talking Stick Resort. So we decided to go find it, but first we went to the zoo and try to get some weapons and tranquilizers and whatever else we needed. There's an entire list of the leftover vehicles that are in the motor pool at the National Guard place we're living at. Blah, 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 blah. So I've lost of NPCs. So we went and scavenged the zoo for a variety of Fallout style goods. A crank flashlight and a torque wrench and 99 pills of calcium.
And some stool softener.
Yes, a lot of stool
Lots. Yeah.
softener.
Yeah,
Lots
two
of stool softener.
two separate packages of stool softeners. So somebody was really prepared for the end of the world.
All right, so Lieutenant Nichols tells us that he is picking up signs of movement. We take the 101, we get to the Talking Stick Resort, and it's on fire. And then we also hear on the radio, let's see if she actually says what it was saying. No, but it turned out to be some sort of fire demon worshipping cult, and we said no thank you and left. On the way south, we found a school bus on the side of the road. We pulled over, we talked to them, and it was two women in fatigues who were somewhat competent, but they were protecting like a bus full of people. The bus had broken down, so we talked them into joining us, and we sent them back to our bunker. They said there's a pack of lizard dinosaur things chasing them down. And the people from the fire cult, maybe, were chasing us, and we said, okay, we don't want to talk to them. So we left. We get south of the river, and we go to the Bass Pro Shop, which is holed up with another group of survivors. We talk to them. It's not in the notes, but I rizzed the hell out of them. My 13 successes and 2 rolls. So we talked to them. We arranged trading one of our, older military vehicles for a bunch of their, camping survival supplies. And then we, Tommy NPC had made fixes to an antenna array, so we now have the ability to broadcast from our base. and Callie won the RP vote. So, and then we did nothing for 6 months.
Yeah, that's
We are
exactly what happened.
training.
We training montage for 6 months.
Yeah.
Well, that
Inspiring
wasn't
music.
all of it. There's a narration I'm
Okay.
gonna give with that. I'll have to, Brittany, to answer your question, I'm gonna have to look the rest of that up later. But you've got the main part of it, so deal with that. Please update accordingly as quickly as you can.
Okay.
Okay, so let me get my handy dandy intro here. As Sokka might say, slap a pow. Okay. All right, so it is. Don't worry so much about adding up the actual day, but the narration is day 184 since the fall. The skies above Phoenix remain a shade of bruised iron, sunlight filtered through the haze of ash and magic. Volcanic grit still swirls on the wind, stirred up by shifting pressure fronts, and strange ley pulses that hum in the distance like the growl of an angry god. When the ash isn't falling, it's drifting, clinging to every surface like a grim reminder that the world we knew is gone. In those early days, survival was the only goal. The Cold War bunker beneath the old Maricopa Emergency Management Office offered just enough steel, concrete, and luck to weather the first shock waves of the cataclysm. For weeks, 24 survivors lived underground, rationing food, boiling ash-stained water, and sealing the blast doors each time the earth trembled. Outside, Phoenix died and was reborn in fire and chaos. Then, against all odds, the comms crackled to life. A signal, a voice. NEMA Southwest Command still existed and they needed help. The survivors responded, and Echo Team was born. Echo 9 specifically, call sign the Zone Walkers. They've trained, they've adapted, and they've changed. Chip Stone, once an Uber driver with one too many side gigs, now soars through the ash-choked skies in a Silver Eagle Samus suit, his silhouette a symbol of hope and firepower. He wears the rank of Specialist E4, his name etched into NEMA's aerial response files. Alex Palmer, cunning and determined, embraced the chaos in her soul. Now a chaos wizard and a corporal, she moves like a storm wrapped in flame and misdirection, her spells twisting the very rules of survival. Jackie Carter, the one with the soldier's spine, now bears the staff sergeant stripes of the Para Arcane. She doesn't talk about what she's seen, but she doesn't hesitate either. Marcus Seville, the bureaucrat turned dimensional anomaly. His name sits apart on the roster as Warrant Officer Seville, a D-shifter whose very essence resonates with temporal bleed and unstable space. Naomi Angelus, ever quiet, now channels the breath of the ley lines themselves. Her magic only works near blue zones, but within them she is something awe-inspiring. NEMA lists her as a specialist. Survivors whisper witch. And Matilda Kern, youngest of the group, refused to sit idle. She picked up a rifle, took the oath, and now stands in the militia ranks as private first class. The survivors they saved remember their names. The people they rescued call them Zone Walkers, half scout, half myth, walking the edges of the rift-choked wilds to bring people home. But Phoenix is still changing. Black rain falls in the east, something brews near the Estrella Mountains. Magic pulses in tides that can kill or awaken. The ash never truly stops. It only shifts, settles, and waits. And on the horizon, strange lights dance in patterns not meant for human eyes. Echo 9 stirs. Their gear is checked, runes etched, weapons loaded, Today's another day in the ashes of the world. Another day someone needs saving. Another day to walk the zone. Inside the fortified perimeter of the National Guard base, life has settled into something that almost resembles routine. The survivors who found refuge there aren't soldiers, but they've become vital to the base's function in ways that matter just as much. Mechanics repurposed scavenged parts for filtration systems and food processing units. Former office workers run logistics and supplies tracking from the old motor pool. Teachers have become morale officers, running makeshift classrooms or organizing calm amidst the chaos. Even the elderly find roles, mending gear, prepping rations, or simply watching the children. The base hums with a quiet kind of purpose: survival through cooperation. It's not comfortable, and it's certainly not safe, but it's order. And in a world where even the sun struggles to shine through the ash, that counts for something. Outside the walls, however, the world is still broken. The sky is a bruised smear of gray and orange, and the wind carries ash, rumors, and things with too many limbs. The roads are cracked, layered with grit, haunted by silence or worse. Survivors who leave the base do so with an understanding that they may not always find a way back. For those inside, every patrol that returns is a miracle. Every supply run that makes it back reinforces the illusion of permanence. But the base is not invincible. Everyone knows the fences won't hold forever, and that the land is shifting beneath them, magically, physically, spiritually. The only thing keeping this fragile outpost from being swallowed by the new world is the collective will of those inside it, and those few brave enough to venture beyond its gates. And that is where we are picking up our game at this point. As a quick background, so NEMA had been operating out of the Deer Valley Airport. And the Honeywell building / facility that sits almost on top of it. So their main base of operations has been there. Once you guys managed to make contact with them during that time lapse, they managed to send a person, or not a person, but they managed to send a squad in to help secure this particular facility and getting it up and running like it should. So this has become like a secondary base of operations for NEMA in Phoenix. One of the biggest assets that the National Guard facility here provides them is advanced communication. As you guys already know, once you got the tower back up and running, which was specifically designed for emergency communications, that's what enabled you to finally reach them. And it is what has enabled NEMA collectively to start reaching out to other survivor groups in the area. The signal is strong enough, despite the magical ley lines and rifts that are in the area, that they are starting to make contact. There are other survivors out there. NEMA did make contact with a group in Texas who had concluded that they were attempting to meet up with the rest of NEMA forces heading towards Chicago. The officer in charge, shoot, let me go back into Discord. I know I put it there. Basically, most of Southwest Command was damaged as well, and like there are no like generals or anybody in charge. So Major Elena Vasquez has assumed command of the NEMA Southwest. Her second in command is a CIA analyst who happened to be out here, whose name is Michael O'Toole. And between the two, they have managed to scavenge, scour, and collectively brought Nima up to a functional a functional status and capable of coming in to save those who need saving and to try and bring something back from the ruins of Phoenix. They are quite literally and figuratively seen by the survivors who have found the Nima facilities, as well as those who are still out and abroad, someplace hidden within the city, trying to find them, as perhaps the only hope for Phoenix. Notes for you is that Nima has been able to make contact with a couple of survivor groups. Thankfully, you reached out to the group that you found at the Bass Pro Shop. Over the 6 months, they have solidified their position. They have not conducted any sort of trade since that initial trade that you made. But now that you're a part of a more organized military operation, this is giving you a little bit more to work with, should you decide to reach out to them, which is definitely something that Nima is attempting to do, because they are now in a position, as of this point, to start reaching out to some of these other groups to start establishing a trade network. Because as Major Vasquez has indicated to both Citizen and Nima forces alike, that no one is making this out without cooperation. Everybody has got to pitch in somehow. Everybody's got to find a way to make this work, with civility. Let me get this 1 second. Here we go. That's exactly what I was looking for. I'm glad I organized this a little bit better. Another one that they have reached out to is the survivors located at the Irish Cultural Center. They haven't had many conversations with them, but they have been the most friendly so far, and open to trade of some sort. So Nima will be working to establish something with them soon, which, rumor has it, Marcus, your group may be being sent in within the next day or so to explore those options. One of the things, one of the major concerns Nima has is the fluctuating power grid. Nima forces had been located at the Palo Alto reactor, and they have not heard from them since. Palo Alto, of course, is too far out as of this point, and she has indicated that despite the urgency there, it is more important that Nima secure as much as they can here in Phoenix to essentially strengthen and fortify their position here, so they can later make an attempt out there to try and find out what has happened. They have also identified, although they don't know where, they have identified what they believe to be 4 of those mutant raider tribes that you guys ran into. They don't have an official name for them yet. But Mr. O'Toole, being the analyst that he is, has managed to take information from other contacts that Nima has had with them, firefights and reviewing the footage, that he's been able to identify markers or how they dress. So he has been able to determine that there are 4 distinct tribes currently. He also does not know where exactly the cannibal humanoids are coming from, but he has identified a very vicious looking tribe of humanoid cannibals, loosely humanoid. Keep in mind, they have roughly the same size as a regular human, but they have very sharp teeth. They look, face wise, they may look a little meat eating mammalian sort of. The one thing he has been able to identify them by is they seem to be directly tied in some way to some of the new local creatures that have made their way here. One of which looks very much like a raptor from the dinosaur era. So they seem to have some sort of ability to train them or control them. They have also located they've also located 2 signals that they haven't been able to completely isolate yet. That has been filtered down to all the Echo teams. That should those signals, while they're out, seem stronger, they need to take that information down. Because they're obviously trying to figure out who and what is still out there. They know one of them is tied to an unknown survivor group. They believe, given the weakness of the signal, that they are further down somewhere near Chandler. Or perhaps a little bit further.
Now, in 2099, that is all, well, now wrecked, but it is all city all the way to Tucson, right?
That is correct, yes.
Okay.
They have identified, they have positively identified 2 particular hotspots that they know are going to be problems later on. They have one of which you have already discovered. Where are we at? There we go. By the way, the Bass Pro Shop is home to the Dust Rats. And at this point, the Capo Ortega is the leader. He has deemed himself Lord of the Wastes. That much they have been able to confirm. The Talking Stick Resort, the ones you guys discovered, intelligence is dubbing them the Cinders. They seem to be some sort of fire-worshipping cult. And one of they don't have a whole lot of detail except, obviously, that they're a fire-worshipping cult and that the fires of that building never died. So on one hand, the large pillar of fire is easy to spot. So you know where to go and where not to go. But they do believe that their numbers are growing.
Why?
Then the other concern, from what they have been able to determine, this is a little bit more concrete. There is a group called the Ashbound Cult, which is based out of Cardinal Stadium and the Westgate District, which those of you who were paying attention, the Cardinal Stadium was actually an evacuation area. Intel suggests within the first couple of days, mass chaos hit that particular facility. O'Toole and other intelligence officers surmise that supplies probably ran out far quicker than others had anticipated, and they believe that some sort of dimensional being, perhaps even a demon of some kind, has crossed over and has claimed that particular area, and all of them now work in tandem through this cult.
So the people who had evacuated there are presumed either to be cultists or dead,
Correct.
or just not there anymore.
Correct. They did manage to pick up a little bit from survivors that ran, but those were again in the very, very early days. So they're speculating off of some firsthand accountings, but obviously it's been 6 months now, so they're not entirely sure what all is there.
That would be State Farm Stadium.
Yes.
Okay.
Only that it is obviously highly dangerous.
Yeah, I didn't know how many stadiums you guys have, and if this was the one I was looking at. I had it written down at State Farm Stadium.
I keep forgetting that State Farm finally took it over.
Of course, insurance made it to the end of the century.
Yep.
They also believe that there is an alien mercenary company out there. They haven't been able to locate their position as of yet, but survivors have described what appear to be humanoid-looking aliens. Let me. No. I know I can find a picture. I'm trying to see if it's in this. It is in this book. Okay, I thought it was. So, page 213.
My Discord keeps blacking out.
Okay. Let me give you a picture.
I have a whole another page of notes just for all the groups that are out there.
I know.
Yeah, right.
I was busy writing.
Yeah.
So I'm going to post this here in the Facebook chat. I've got something loaded up for later. So that is what the alien, they have a positive ID on what they look like. They are very humanoid looking, minus certain facial features and a certain type of hairstyle. They do seem to be highly efficient. That's why they're referring to them as mercenaries of some kind. They do have a military style culture. They have not made any sort of contact with them as of yet. They just know that they're out there. Okay, and so with that, at this point, presumably everybody is hanging around the base. You could be getting, food. It's presumably at this point, even though it's hard to tell, it is morning. Oh, and by the way, because the sky has been blacked out for so long, it is somewhere between 10 to 15 degrees cooler than normal. So it is, for summertime, pretty chilly out.
So summer anywhere else.
Technically, yes.
Phoenix.
It would still be summer most other places.
It's only 95 out.
Wow, not bad.
Yeah, so at this point, well, no, given the fact that it's still covered, you're looking at the highs right now. The best it can get is like 80 to 85.
Okay.
That sounds amazing.
Which is comfortable weather, but given the fact that it's so blocked off, with sunlight and whatnot, it's alarming. But that be that as it may. But yeah, so it is morning time as of this point. We'll say it's around 8 o'clock. You're all free to do whatever it is that you're wanting to do. Marcus, however, gets called in for a morning debrief.
I will do that.
Okay. So they have, again, as I've indicated, they have most of the National Guard post up and running. So the bunker is obviously for emergency situations now. So if the place is under attack, everybody crams down there to get, for safety. Barracks are currently being used by military personnel. They've got vehicles up and running, an active motor pool at this point. So at least for this section of the city, it feels alive and it feels real. And it doesn't feel, with the exception of the ashfall coming down, that a whole lot has changed.
Have we been able to modify our vehicles to, either repulsor lift or somehow be able to operate in the ash?
No. That is an ongoing struggle, and it is something that NEMA is working on, and they do have certain suits and whatnot that can operate in this particular weather. Most can't.
How many people does Dale's tank carry?
Dale doesn't have a tank, but great question.
Whatever it is. It looks like a personal carrier.
I know it does, but that's not Dale's.
Oh. Who did I say?
You said Dale. It's also not Chip's.
Well, you know what I mean. But I mean, it says this is what Dale's character pilots, and it looks like a personnel carrier. So
No. If you look at the picture right below that, or right before that comment,
the first picture is what he pilots.
Yes, that's the Silver Eagle power armor.
Okay, I didn't know what the second picture was for. Then I thought that
the second picture is for later.
Oh, okay, cool. All right, folks, we're walking.
Yep. So at this point, you get in. The offices are mostly lit. They're still trying to be, energy conscious and keeping lights off that don't need to be on. Since the weather outside isn't it's not super cold. It's definitely not hot. Nobody's running the air conditioner right now. Again, to preserve on that as best as possible. But you walk into the the main offices, and you walk into Lieutenant Nichols' office. He has actually been. Thank you, Miss Congeniality. All you need is a light jacket. I loved her. Anyways.
Oh, maggots, you want to live forever?
Yeah, I know, right? But yeah, Lieutenant Nichols, he's actually been brought in at his rank because much of NEMA is, or at least Southwest Command has a distinct lack of officers. So once they vetted him for what he is, what it is, they still brought him in when they realized he was going to be an asset in that regard. So he's been kind of given command of the unit on a high level, and when you guys go out, it's split between you or Jackie. Unless it's a larger operation, then he just comes with and helps blast things accordingly.
All right, so am I going to talk to Vasquez or Nichols?
No, you're going to speak to Lieutenant Nichols.
Okay.
And he says, "Chief, have a seat."
Yeah, I do.
Okay. He says, "So, I'm sure you heard the scuttlebutt around the base. There are obviously more groups out there, and NEMA Command is trying to make contact with them. We're trying to set up trade negotiations and meet the neighbors. And
yeah, that makes sense.
Command has told me that little birdie told her that your group tends to be particularly good at talking."
I'll take that as a compliment.
Well, you should, because you are being seen as the best foot forward at this point. So first things first, Command wants you to make a run out to the old Metro Center complex, and there is a library, the Chola branch of the Phoenix Public Library. They want you to make a run there, collect what you can. Obviously, we're looking for books, books that are going to help the cause, and hopefully books that we can use to help teach those who lack certain skills.
All right, understood.
Obviously, those are priority. If you can fit it in, try to get some entertainment. But it's not obviously it's not a requirement. It might be a good morale boost, but our concern right now are things that are going to help survivability.
Do we know if anybody's there or near there?
We have no intel on that area whatsoever. All we do know is that there may have been a survivor hub near there somewhere, as it sits right off of the light rail. And it is highly likely that people who were on the light rail when everything happened may have migrated somewhere over there, since that is a primary stopping point for the light rail.
Understood.
Once that particular task is taken care of, you've been selected to actually meet with the Irish Cultural Center.
I'm just fine. Is it a real place that I can find? There we go. Found it.
Yeah, these are both actual places you can find on a map.
All right.
He says, now we do have some intel about that particular area.
Okay.
From what the Irish Cultural Center contacts have indicated to us, they are near at least one of those demon slaver alien creatures encampments. So going in, be careful.
Understood.
I would also like, I would like, because I'm curious, but we've been given a specific task from Agent O'Toole to collect whatever data you can get on the Irish Cultural Center and that particular survivors group. From what we can tell, there is a blue zone there, and they seem to be sitting right on top of it.
Understood. Do you want us to chop off the books before we head over there?
My first gut instinct was to say yes, but no. Let's hold on to that, and if you deem it appropriate, and this is just me talking to you here for a second, use it as trade bait. If there's something there that maybe they could use to help smooth things over, to put us in their good graces, go with that. If it doesn't work out, then obviously whatever you find, bring home.
Fair enough. I was worried that, if we're carrying a bunch of books near a demon encampment, we risk losing all the books.
I understand, but you're not going alone.
All right. Anything else?
Make it back alive.
Thank you for that instruction, sir.
He says, I know you're being smarmy when you say that, but we need a win. It's becoming harder and harder for us to send rescue squads out for a number of different reasons. We need this win. We need to come back with this knowing we have the potential for some strong allies in the area.
Understood. Will do, sir.
Oh, and one more thing. I probably shouldn't have done this, given the need for resources. But he tosses you a little baggie that has the image in there that I just posted in the Facebook chat.
Facebook's been slow for me lately. Messenger, anyway.
No worries. It's a patch.
Oh, okay.
Looks cool.
It still says sent a photo, so I'll
Oh.
see it eventually. Oh, wait. There we go. Hey, that's nice. Do we have... Is it 6 of them?
Yeah, you got, well, 7 counting lieutenant, but yeah.
Okay. I just mean, do I have them to hand out?
Yes.
Okay.
He says, so make sure your crew has got that emblazoned on your uniforms. It's not much, but it's a morale boost.
Yes, sir. All right. We will radio in when we're headed to the Irish Center.
He says, you're going to pick up your ride just outside the motor pool. You'll know it when you see it.
Oh boy. That's been true of everything the last 6 months. Do we have radios?
Yeah.
All right. Well, I'm gonna radio the squad to meet at the motor pool.
I'm already there. Chucky's just hanging out. Like, I just felt like I needed to be here.
Okay.
I had a dream.
Like, oh no, now it begins.
At 8:10 p.m.
I feel like this is a good spot.
I had a dream that I needed to go to the motor pool.
Just felt right.
So, as all of you are going to the motor pool, and of course, Jackie is already there, that's where you see that big armored vehicle rolling up. And it just, as it comes, rolling up, it's a blah, 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 coming into a stop. Along the side, it's painted kind of roughly, but it's painted, and it says the Hollow Point Hotel.
Nice.
All right, squad. We've got a couple of missions actually. Here we go. All right. Well, we have earned ourselves a reputation as diplomats here in the Wastes. So Nima is wanting us to go out to a couple of different points. We have two missions on the docket ahead of us. We are going to, and I'll have a map up. Where'd it go? We're headed to the Chola branch of the Phoenix Library, where we're going to try and retrieve. We're just going to scavenge whatever books we can. Information is best, any skill books for training. If we have room, we can grab whatever else we want to. I mean, entertainment books or whatever we want. But the mission is to go and recover knowledge. We have no intel on the area. Maybe it's empty, maybe it's not, but let's go in ready. Our second mission is we're going to go to the Irish Cultural Center, where we believe there are another group of survivors. We're going to go establish contact with them.
Okay.
Now, Nima also knows that there is one of the demon slaver encampments is nearby. So this is possibly more hostile. We're not going to the demon slaver encampment necessarily, but they are nearby and we don't know what we're walking into. So
would that be near the library or the cultural center?
Near the cultural center, which is really not that far away from us. So the library is farther away. The cultural center is straight up. I don't know what road this is. Straight up the freeway from here. And if things go south there, we also have a straight shot back to here. There is a potential blue zone at the cultural center. O'Toole wants us to essentially collect whatever data we can. So if there's a blue zone, let's get that data. Let's get data on the people who are there. We're there to learn and establish contact for NEMA. And one more thing, and I'll start handing out the patches.
Ooh, these are cool.
Aw, thanks, Chief. You shouldn't have.
So we're all official like now.
We're all official. Apparently we have a reputation, so let's live up to it.
All right.
Try, Chief.
Are we putting these on now?
Doing a lot of talking.
I mean, I'm assuming they're Velcro.
Yes.
Oh, that's good. Because I'm like, are we sewing these on at this point? Let's take a second.
We all pull out a needle and thread.
So as you guys are doing your your rundown and handing out patches, you see a man step out from the front of the vehicle. The very front of it like opens up kind of like a jaw and lays down like an access ramp. And he comes walking out. He's got the bars and the patch and the patch on the side to indicate that he is also a warrant officer. And he approaches, looks around, and he says, "I'm Chief Jarek, aka Bonesaw." And he says, "Welcome to the Hollow Point Hotel. Enjoy your stay."
Any questions? Last news before we roll out? Let's get on board.
Okay, so he says, so he does a quick rundown. He says, my co-pilot is Sergeant First Class Keel, aka Switchboard. He says, comms officer is Corporal Romer, aka Crackle. He says, then we have Specialist Lemieux, our intelligence officer, aka Ghost. Then he points. He says, we got Boom Boom and Tap Tap on the guns. And then another guy steps forward, kind of husky, and you can see that he was preparing an armor in the back. Looks like it was a gunbuster power armor. He says that there is Sergeant Rex, or Sergeant Hart, aka Rex. He says that's and he kind of runs down. He says that's our medic Redcap. He says then the other parts of the fire team. He says that's Lunchbox, that's Shiv. They all kind of just nod. Soldiers, just based in basic armor and uniforms. Then he says, then we've got the cylinders. And you see, oh, you know what? I can actually provide you a picture of that too.
I was not expecting a squad bigger than ours to jump out of this thing.
Wow. Yeah.
Clearly, I had a scale problem when I looked at this picture.
Yeah, you've got it seats quite a few as far as manning the everything that's in here. But then you've got a small fire team that when this particular vehicle is in place is going to be designed to either pull you out of the fire or protect the area around the APC while you guys are doing whatever you're doing. Okay, and snip a picture here. I'm also going to put this in the Facebook chat. There's two of these, one of which happens to have a black cross on his chest, or on its chest, I should say.
You called them cylinders?
Yeah, they've nicknamed them cylinders. He says, we've got two combat drone soldiers, here for assistance. He says that one's Klaxon. He'll remain with the rest of the fire team here when you are out and about. And he says that one there with the cross, that's Church. And they both kind of snap a salute and pull their arms down. Claxton steps forward to shake the hands of anybody who would shake it, and he says, "This unit is Claxon. We bring endings and def jams."
Jerome, would we have been familiar with robots like this?
More so due to your training, yes.
So, like over the last 6 months?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
So are they like sentient?
They are AI.
Okay.
So you don't know.
So treat them like humans, essentially? Interact with them like humans?
Interact with them like humans, yes.
Okay.
They have, that they have certain parameters built into them that they can only take direct orders from either whoever is designated in charge or from somebody very high ranking, for that matter. And there is a special classification of soldier that actually maintains these.
Okay.
But yeah, so Claxton, goes, shake hands, and of course, refers to himself as this unit is Claxon. When he says that we bring endings and def jams, he has a very radio announcer's voice to him. Church, on the other hand, again, he doesn't shake hands. He snapped a salute, but he refers to all of you as the chosen imperfect.
Oh boy.
It's better they refer to us like that than the opposite. So I'm all for it.
AI makes me twitchy.
I just try not to think too hard about it.
All right. Well, let's go.
Okay. So with that, the engines kick on and growl again. Chip's Silver Eagle is brought on board. To emphasize just how big this bad boy is, because I know the picture doesn't necessarily... The picture's just a picture. It is an armored personnel carrier. It requires a crew of 6 to pilot it. 1 pilot, 1 co-pilot, communications officer, intelligence officer, and 2 gunners. Now, essentially the payload of personnel that you can put in this, it can carry up to 40 people as far as troops are concerned. Or like 1 special squad of 8 to 12 with 4 to 12 combat drones, or 20 troops fewer, and add anywhere between 6 to 8 power armors like Chromium Guardsmen, Gunbusters, or Silver Eagles. It's roomy.
Wow.
If you've seen Aliens, it's like that, but bigger and better.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of like my house, 40 people sitting in 2 rows. Like that's a fair space.
Yep.
Yeah. Woohoo.
All the more reason why they're sending you guys out to do a little looting. You're going to have the room for it.
Yep. Excellent.
So it starts driving out and making its way out the front gate. And Church keeps looking to Alex.
I'm going to try and ignore it.
Okay.
Because that's weird.
So Church. So then at that point, Church leans forward a little bit and he says, "Corporal Palmer, may I ask you a question?"
Sure. What's up?
Would it be possible to obtain your virtual intelligence while we are out?
What does that mean?
Your virtual intelligence?
The one from my house?
The one from your house.
How do you know I have a virtual intelligence?
I have been in communications with it.
Interesting. Why? Why do you? What value is it to take with us? What are you?
This unit has a soul. I believe your house does as well.
Chip is now definitely listening in on this conversation.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're all
You're
just like,
hearing that?
We're
what?
all like popcorn.
Everybody's ears suddenly get 3 times the size. I did wonder what might become of it while, after everything. Um, you know, it, if we have the time to swing by on our way, I don't see why not.
Thank you, Corporal Palmer. It has also indicated that there are several, you purchased several backup generators.
That we weren't able to bring with us.
Affirmative.
Well, that's definitely worth swinging by for.
I contain the information that I can disconnect these with a mechanic's efficiency to bring them along. If you allow me to, ma'am.
Chief, did you catch any of that?
Oh, I caught it.
Do you think we could swing by my old place on our way through town?
Yes. If there's a soul involved, we shouldn't leave it behind.
Okay. So at that point, he looks to, he looks to Warrant Officer Seville and he says, "Thank you, Chief. It is appreciated."
And it's on the way anyway, so.
It's definitely going to be interesting. What does it mean for one of your kind to have a soul, anyway?
What does it mean for you to have a soul?
That's a topic of much debate.
Precisely. It is one that I have debated many times before.
I see. Well, thank you for sharing that. I expect it's a pretty personal topic.
Of course. It has been some time since we have been able to effectively communicate with one another. I believe we have your antenna array to thank for that.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Wow, Corporal, your place has all the neat gadgets. I'm jealous.
Yeah, I mean, we did what we could.
I'm
But
going
that
to drop.
it's becoming useful.
I
Go
am
ahead.
going to drop. I'm going to show this to Sergeant Carter, but it's in the Discord chat. That's the neighborhood. The house is technically on a cul-de-sac, but there looks like a paved route out the back. So tactically speaking, we have an escape route if we need it. But the house is on the middle lower left.
Yeah, looks good. There's enough exits that we should be okay. And if anything, we can also break west across the grass. There's a lot of exits.
Okay. So do you, Marcus, then, do you notify the pilot
Yeah,
of the
I want to
stop
go.
ahead of time?
Yeah, I'm gonna go talk to Bonesaw and tell him what's going on, and ask if we can give him the address and ask if we can stop on the way to the library.
Okay. So he pulls it up at this point. Looks like these systems here have it's slightly outdated, but it was dated just prior to the cataclysm, so it's accurate enough. And he says, "All right, no, yeah, that's along the way. It's going to delay things a little bit, but you've got control as of this point." So he flips on the comm at this point, and he says, "All right, Rex, you and the fire team are going to be suiting up. We've got a stop to make before we get to our initial stop. So get ready to shake and bake and get us a controlled environment." So continues driving, the way out there. The drive is a little bit bumpy because the roads are obviously still messed up. Thankfully, the direction they go, there's never a concern as to how to get around. Since it's near downtown, even if there's roads that are blocked up some, it can, this vehicle will go up onto the sidewalk and part of the grass, or cut through a parking lot or something to get around. So it's, nothing's really in the way. When you get to that particular cul-de-sac, however, at this point, the side door opens up, and Sergeant Rex steps out, and he says, "All right, fire team, secure the perimeter." He says, "Redcap, you're in the rear with the gear. I want Claxon backing you up, making sure nothing gets behind us." He says, "Shiv and Lunchbox, I want you on north. I'll take the south entrance, or the south exit out of here." And so, at that point, he steps out, and Redcap looks, and Redcap ends up looking at him as he's exiting, and he says, "Don't worry, Redcap, I bought the stompy boots." And he stomps down the ground with the gun the gunbusters thing, and it steps out. He's got his two guns, and keeping a perimeter at this point. And you can see the vehicle has come to a complete stop. They've got kind of the turret moving back and forth a little bit on the swivel, the big cannon, I should say, as well as IFF up as far as it'll go to start raining, missile fire down if need be. This thing is packing.
Sergeant, would you go inside with Corporal Palmer and Church?
Yeah, I'll stand top of them. She's gonna come out, kind of just getting a feel for the area, and just checking anything where an ambush could happen.
Sure.
Between the houses.
If there was any ambush, it would probably come from one of the houses.
Yeah.
The houses here are mostly intact. Like, they didn't get knocked over, with any of the earthquakes or whatnot. They've taken some damage, and Alex would know. This is where she encountered those alien, mutant, demon things, whatever they were. So there is some damage from when they were kind of stomping through and taking people. But this could be a decent shelter in place for somebody, on the run. So it could also be potential looting in the immediate vicinity.
Yeah, so I'm gonna. I mean, it's it's probably been several months since I've been here.
Yep.
I'm gonna look for changes and or signs of habitation.
Okay. I need
around my area.
So
or
are the only ones going out right now Palmer, Carter, and Church?
I'm going to exit the vehicle.
Okay.
But I'm going to stay outside the house unless I hear something.
Okay.
I'm staying inside.
Okay.
Yeah,
Are you squishy?
Yes. Unless I'm by a blue line zone.
Yeah, how do we know whether we're near a
You'll see
blue
it.
zone or not?
Yeah, it's not invisible. You will see it.
But like narratively, how will we know?
I will let you know.
Okay.
I was kind of wondering if, as we drive across the city, if every now and then we were like, "Ooh, yeah."
Yeah, I mean,
Everybody
there's
gets a
definitely
little zing.
Yeah, there's definitely going to be.
Technically, I can sense them too, I think.
Yeah. Definitely, there's definitely going to be times when that sort of thing happens because it's not like they've had the opportunity to map every place that's like that. So
Do they move?
they can.
Okay.
Rifts, not so much. Rifts tend to be like focal points specifically. And out of character, it's usually where two ley lines meet, two or more.
Right. And I'll keep Alex behind me. I'll just be like, hey, stay on my 6. Let me know if something looks out of place. And yeah, she'll just keep kind of her whole awareness open as she moves towards Alex's house.
Okay.
Do you want me to pull
Rifle.
something?
Rifle drawn. Slightly crouched.
Oh, and speaking of which, hold on 1 second. No. Everyone here would be given Nema standard infantry armor.
Oh, okay.
We like armor. Armor's good.
Yes.
I also
Armor
don't
good.
have stats for my weapon.
What can you read that off to us, Jerome?
Yes. So Nema standard infantry armor. It also includes helmet, so it's basically fully enclosed. The main body gives you 12 points. The helmet gives you 6. And arms and legs gives you 5 apiece.
Is that kind of like cyberpunk-esque?
Kind of, yes. But that's basically the health of the armor. So if somebody managed to do a total of 12 points of damage to you in one hit, the main body of your armor is completely gone. And it has a soak. This is what you guys are going to like. It has a soak of 7. Meaning, so this works a little bit differently than vampire. So they have to do more than 7 points of damage to even harm your armor.
And that's just consistent.
Yes.
It's not like a one-time thing.
Nope. It's consistent. It's based upon the alloys and everything that this is made out of. It's tough.
I'm very concerned about the amount of damage the NPCs will be doing if we get a free 7-point soak.
Well, I think if an APC is shooting at you, you have bigger problems than your armor.
Right. Good point. So that is what everybody has as far as the standard infantry armor.
What about weapons?
1 second.
If we're talking combat, yes.
Yeah.
Do you need stats for my Chris Vector MK5?
Let's see. So so the armor, you don't have anything to worry about. I can remember that. There is going to be a difference. There's a difference between civilian and military grade. For those of you who have played Rifts, it's a difference between SDC and MDC. So your Chris Vector MK5, correct?
Yes.
It's going to do 5 ag damage, or if you set it up in a burst, that's a single rounder. Set it up in a burst, it'll do 6.
Okay. Range.
50 meters.
Difficulty.
6. Everything's
Is
going to be
that-
difficulty 6 unless I say otherwise. So
Okay.
Is that what we all have?
no, that's what she has on her character sheet.
Oh, right. Okay.
Do we get like a sidearm?
Everybody would get a weapon from Nima specifically. That would be military grade. If you don't have any weapon on your sheet that says military grade, please tell me.
I don't.
Yeah, neither do I.
Okay.
I have the
And-
Eagle Tech LP7 Street Phantom laser pistol.
Yeah. So well, you've already got a weapon that's military grade. So Chip and Alex, we are going to give you. Oh, 1 second. I'll just give you one from the book.
Yeah, I have a Sig Sauer and a Winchester, but they don't say military grade.
Correct.
Okay.
Integrate explosive rounds.
Oh, I didn't actually bring that over. What a bummer. Okay, so then we are going. So both of you, so Chip and Alex are both getting the Mossberg XR45 Hellfire. It is a military rifle. It does 8 aggravated damage. Obviously, single fire only.
Range?
300 meters. Clip.
You said rate is 1.
Yes, rate is 1. Range of 300 meters.
Nice.
Clip of 10. However, it is anti-armor, so that means anything that has a soak is going to be halved.
And it's not concealable.
No. Not unless you have arcane.
Is that a Hellfire rifle in your jacket, or are you happy to see me?
And then we'll have to figure it out for Abby when she gets back. So, Marcus, did you have any weapons that said they were military grade?
I did not.
Okay. So then you would be given we'll give you a Remington Red Eye LSP 10, which is a military laser pistol. Does potentially 5 aggravated damage. Range of 25 meters. And clip 12. And then you're
honestly,
and then you're also given a Mossberg XR45.
okay. I didn't write down the stats because I wasn't getting one. All right. I mean, it's better for everybody if I don't pull a trigger anyway, but my lack of firearms.
Need to fix that.
Point
Actually-
and shoot.
Well, it's actually a scene I wanted to have tonight. We just haven't got there yet.
No, understandable. So, but yeah, so the Mossberg, you also have that Mossberg that I just mentioned. So that's a
I'm really curious what you've been doing for the last 6 months
so that's
that you haven't pulled a trigger.
Meditating.
so that's also a military rifle, 8 aggravated damage, range of 300, single shot, clip of 10. anti-armor.
He has been shooting. He just flinches a lot, so he hasn't quite gotten good yet. Oh, shit.
I've been learning the secrets of the universe, okay?
My eyes are open, man.
So he's been
Yeah,
doing
I
a lot of
will do
shrooms.
that.
Mhm.
Okay,
All
so Alex and Jackie are going in with Church. Church at this point is helping to disassemble.
No disassemble.
What is this symbol?
Oh, Johnny Five alive. Church alive. So that is beginning to work. Then you guys are going to be. I didn't have it open, did I not? Here we go. Go down. So why don't you both give me, since you're both looking around the house, give me a perception and investigation check. Difficulty 7.
Okay. No successes.
One
Oh.
success.
Okay. 1 success. All right. So now, Jackie, why don't you give me a D100 roll?
D100. Nope. D100. 1.
Just 1?
Yep.
Okay. You managed to find a first aid kit.
Nice.
Unused.
Hey, I found a first aid kit you haven't used. Nice.
A first aid kit in my house.
Yeah.
That was lucky. I thought I got them all.
Stashed away. Forgot one.
Cool. Okay, so as we step inside, I check if the power is on.
The power is not currently on.
Do we have to turn it on in order to get the AI?
No. The VI? No.
Where's your where did you keep your generators? Garage?
I will point her in the direction of where I keep the generators.
Yeah. So the generator and batteries are actually in the garage, and Church is already there, starting to work on safely disassembling them.
Okay.
And how would I bring the VI back? Is there like a physical unit
Yes.
somewhere?
Mhm. Yeah. Essentially, it's a computer built into the house.
Okay.
So all you have to do is just go to the unit itself and start disconnecting it.
Okay, then I'll go do that.
Okay. Why don't you give me an intelligence and technology check?
I'm like, did you have a cat? It's a cat.
I did.
Kitty. I'll start
No, the cat would be.
Yeah,
with
you've already picked
us
up
in
the
the-
cat. The cat
Okay.
the cat is back at the National Guard base.
Sorry, you said
Okay.
intelligence and tech.
Yes.
Dose.
Okay. So you're able to disconnect it relatively easy. Not too big of a problem there. Church is starting to bring the 2 batteries that you have and the 2 backup generators.
I'll keep a lookout of like the front of the house. I'll just kind of stay.
I will do a sweep of the house just to see if there's anything we should bring with us, or if anybody's been here.
Sure. Give me one more check. This time it's wits and investigation. Huh.
3.
Okay. Why don't you give me 3D100? And Marcus just got a reroll thanks to Dale.
Okay, 24, 50, and 57.
Okay, so the first one nets you a usable microwave. Then you find an oven mitt that you didn't own. And a can of spinach. Actually, why don't you give me roll 1d10 and divide it by 2.
I rolled a 10, so 5.
5 cans of spinach.
Okay.
And that clearly
Good.
wasn't there either, because that was something you definitely
I-
cleaned out. So it could have been something that somebody was passing through and for whatever reason left it there.
I didn't even eat canned spinach. Much prefer it fresh. Popeye was here.
Yep. Strong
Nice.
to the finished, because I eat me spinached. Popeye
All right, well,
the
we'll
Sailor Man.
take this stuff with us.
Okay. So at this point, everybody is, waiting, and church, of course, is, bringing the things in. So the driver at this point, hollers to the back. He's like, is that it?
Yeah, we'll settle in and go, all right, we're good. Once everybody's seated and stuff stowed.
That's it. Let's go.
Thanks for making the pit stop for us.
Yeah, at church at that point is just, well, thank you for taking the time for the recovery, ma'am.
Yeah, this should be pretty interesting.
Okay.
So, are you gonna plug it in back at the base, or how does that work?
Affirmative.
Cool. All right. Can I be there for it?
Of course.
But it having a soul means it's not just going to be my VI anymore, right? It's going to be its own entity, right?
Perhaps that is a question we will raise once we have effectively rebooted it.
Don't like the idea of owning something that has a soul.
Well, that is quite all right. Nima happens to own this unit.
Didn't you have a cat? I would think that, like cats and dogs, wouldn't they have souls?
Well, does anyone really truly own a cat? Or you just
Fair.
permitted to exist and serve it?
Oh, okay, fair, but I'm pretty sure that you can make your cat do things or make the cat go in a litter box, and it can't do that to you. So I'm
I suppose
wondering.
That's true.
Yeah. Just saying.
I mean, but the cat doesn't exist to serve me, whereas a VI is kind of how I've always, used it.
Fair point. Yeah. Okay.
It's weird. I think we're going to get into all kinds of existential questions here.
Yeah. Wow.
So at that point, with everybody, gathering back up and driving out, at this point the vehicle rolls out and heads back out onto Missouri, making their way over to the freeway.
So I lived 2 blocks from here before.
Do we need to stop at your place and get your VI?
No, I don't have a VI. I don't. I like to be the only one in my house.
Fair enough.
So you continue driving on, and one second, I gotta get my list of NPCs pulled back up here. So Redcap leans into Jackie, and Redcap says, "Hey, Sarge, got a second?"
Yeah, what do you need?
Hey, don't know if you could maybe pull it off, but our gunner happens to really like classic rock. So I don't know if your group, while you're out, could maybe find some or something.
Yeah, I was gonna keep an eye out for any of the music databanks. I mean, we don't need that much room for a lot of songs. So
Cool.
check the library out and see if we can find their audio.
I just thought I'd bring that up because as much as I like Carry On My Wayward Son 50 times in a row, a little stale.
Yeah, I get it. Yeah, I was planning on picking music up, and maybe if we can find a video storage, just for morale. Anyways, so
Cool. I just thought I'd put a little bug in your ear. Appreciate it. Thank you for your time there, Sarge.
yeah, no problem.
So the rest of you are again driving off. At one point, you end up hearing a little bit of commotion come from the front, from the driver, and then you end up hearing, this. You end up hearing the driver end up saying, "Okay, boom, boom, it's time to negotiate." And so you hear some guy with a little bit of gleam in his voice. He says, "Ha ha ha! Say hello to my excessive friend." And then you just hear ka-dum, ka-dum from the gun as it blasts off two energy rounds into the night. That is a high-powered laser cannon.
Oh man, I hope it's some of those packs of those dinosaur-looking things.
And you just hear some explosions in the back at that point. And then boom 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 coming through, and he says, "Chief, it looks like they don't want to negotiate anymore. They're apparently in full retreat. What should we do?" And then you end up hearing Tap Tap saying, "Oh, come on. And the chief says, "We really need to conserve ammo. Keep an eye on them. Make sure they don't circle back." And she's all, "Oh, dang it." So after a few more moments, they don't proceed. They start rolling just a little bit, but then doesn't seem to be anything active right now. And then you end up hearing the chief come through and says, "Yeah, I think those were some of our cannibal friends riding on some sort of like dinosaur looking things, and they didn't want to stick around. I don't quite blame them."
Maybe ride dinosaurs? Oh, I thought they just I don't know what I thought. Huh.
You know, the raptor-looking ones, yeah.
Maybe like pets or like their version of dogs. I think they
You
rode
know,
around on them.
I don't know. I just knew that they needed to stop bothering us.
Yep, I agree. Agree.
At that point, it proceeds full speed ahead, and there's a bit of a bump. As you guys are going, it says, "Oh, that was juicy."
And she just laughs. And then she kind of just like settles back and closes her eyes, like just kind of doing the military resting thing, where she's just like.
But
What's the date?
within another 25 minutes or so, you end up hearing the announcement that you guys have reached your destination, and he starts going through the protocol again, like you guys just encountered, where where the chief orders the sergeant to dispatch the fire team to secure the area while you guys go and do whatever it is you're going to go do.
Alrighty, let's go look for some books.
But I never learned to read.
Oh no.
Is that true? Yeah, everything except the reading part.
All right, well, let's go in as soon as 2 of our crew are back.
Yeah.
I guess I will look for any signs of. Have we seen like these different mutant or alien tribes leave like markings anywhere?
You haven't seen it, but you know they do. Typical if they're going to mark their territory.
Yeah. So I guess I'll just keep an eye out for that we've been briefed on. Like, look for these things.
Sure.
I'll just take a look around and make sure that we're not encroaching on a camp that we didn't know about.
Sure.
Or...
Go ahead and at this point, Dale, you got a reroll.
Ah, thank you.
Okay, so as you end up getting to Zone Echo 9CL, which is the designation for your stopping point here, it was classified as a civilian shelter ruin and potential knowledge recovery site. As you approach, the Chala Library stands like a tomb to the old world. Its smooth concrete walls weathered but unbroken, the yellowed plastic from its awnings warped by time and heat. The air outside is acrid, laced with faint ash carried on desert winds. The once inviting glass entrance is spiderwebbed with impact fractures, yet intact enough to reflect distorted shadows of those who approach. Inside, silence hangs heavy. The ground floor smells of damp paper, burnt plastic, and old blood. Scattered debris, torn backpacks, ration wrappers, a child's shoe speak of a brief, desperate refuge during the first days of the cataclysm. Emergency cot still rest between the stacks, long since abandoned. A hand-scrawled message still clings to a pillar in faded marker. We waited, they never came. The second floor is darker. Power has long since failed, but is more intact. Mold creeps along the spines of thousands of books, yet some shelves were barricaded and protected as if someone valued this place. A scorched whiteboard lists shift rotations and food counts. There are no bodies now, either taken or buried, but signs of their presence remain. Used lanterns, a dried blood trail leading to the stairwell, and ration crates marked NEMA SW in faded ink.
Oh.
When you say to the stairway, is it stairways up and down? Only down?
Yeah.
Like, what are we?
Yeah, up and down. It's right in the very middle of the library. It's
Okay.
there's only one way up and down.
What I mean is there a basement?
No.
Okay.
So I want to go see the
Ground floor and
I'll
upper
go
floor.
check the kind of protected area that looks like someone tried to protect the books. I'm gonna
Sure.
go see what section that is of the library.
Okay. So question is: has the entire team gone in?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, we got the outside protected with these other guys. So.
Right. That's why I was double checking. All of you who have gone in, give me a wits and investigations check as you start to rummage. Difficulty 7.
Not my forte.
Yeah, not my strong point here.
2.
Oh wow, 3 out of 3.
1. I'm more of a if something's gonna jump at us, I got you guys.
3.
Okay. Here we go.
I brought some popcorn home from the movie theater. I didn't see a movie. I just got popcorn and brought it home. And I just grabbed some while I was in the kitchen. And I gave a piece to Shadow because she was very curious about it. And she smelled it for a while. And then now she's just batting it around the floor.
As you do.
Figures.
It's kind of funny.
Okay, so we're going to start off here. So Dale, how many did you get?
3.
3. Okay. So initially give me 3 D100, or give me 3 rolls of 1D100.
First is a 28,
Okay.
then a 66, and then a 94.
Okay, so for the first one, here we go. Is that the? Okay, here we go. Give me 1D100.
One.
Oh, you have found Brave New World by Aldous Huxley.
That's the second one that we've rolled tonight.
Yeah.
Out of 100.
That's
Hey,
good.
What are
People
the
have
odds?
been
It's
able to
just-
combat.
Just for stuff. That's great.
Yeah.
Okay, and then
What are the odds?
the next one you got, you said was 66?
Yeah.
Okay.
Blame it on the rain.
Oh, here we go. Go ahead and roll 1D100.
67.
Wow, if this wasn't prophetic. Okay. CDs with holders. So you ended up finding one of those old school binder thing that had, the pouches for CDs in them.
Okay.
So
here's the trick though. It's
So
not classic rock. It's like bubblegum pop.
No.
So we'll come up with the 6 CDs that you have in a bit. And
Okay.
you said 69 was the other one?
The last one was 94.
Oh, 94. Okay. 94. Where did it go? Here we go. 94. Table number 9.
Did you get it stuck behind the door?
Okay, roll
No, those are
1D100.
my toes.
82.
And you also find a mandolin here. It's a little beat up.
Wow.
Oh.
Brittany, what'd you get?
Oh, 3. No, 2.
2. Give me 2D100.
$58
Okay.
and 73.
And 73. So table 2 and table 5. Okay, give me 1d100.
Eight.
Cast net, 6 foot.
A 6-foot net.
Yes.
That actually could be useful.
And then I need you to roll another 1d100.
Why did the library have a net?
4.
Oh, 2 quarts of kerosene.
Oh.
That is useful. Marcus, you got 3, right?
I got 3.
Okay.
Should I just roll 2d100s 3 times?
No, I'd rather you did, just to keep
Okay.
it from getting confusing.
35.
Okay, so 35. Oh, interesting. Okay. Where's it at?
Brittany, what was the second thing you got? I missed it.
Mandolin, a 6-foot net, and 2 quarts of kerosene.
The mandolin was Dale's.
Yeah.
I
6-foot
got
net.
I got a 6-foot net and 2 quarts of kerosene.
Okay.
I just had it listed as library loot, so.
Library loot.
Nice.
Okay,
So-
35? Yeah.
So 35. Would you roll again? I'll see what you got.
54.
Okay, so 54. Oh, you have 45 adhesive bandages.
Nice.
Okay, so go ahead and roll again. Let's see what you come up with.
13.
Okay, roll 1d100 again.
77.
1 quart of water. Let's get another roll in there since you got 3 successes.
26.
1d6. Okay. And roll one more time.
94.
A paperweight.
Fantastic. I always wanted one of these.
Yep. Well, if you got one higher, you would have got packaging peanuts. Just saying.
Is it the Arizona touristy kind that's like a scorpion suspended in resin?
Sure.
Okay.
Sweet.
We could totally do that.
Does it still glow in black light?
Yes.
Nice.
Jackie.
Got 1. So
What'd you get?
I only got a 1. Where's my rolls? Rolls. There we go. 1D.
You only got 1 success, as you're saying?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. 88.
88. Okay. Table number 8. Let's go down here and see. Go ahead and roll again.
65.
Okay. You have 3 plastic buttons.
Oh.
Hmm.
We can add those to the supply.
Or button supply.
Like clothing supply.
Okay, this is in addition to what all of you guys have rolled to find. Unfortunately, Abby isn't here to participate. She's taking care of a little one. You know what? In fact, why don't we get somebody to roll for her? Let me get her character real quick. Here we go. She has 5 dice to roll. Could somebody roll that for her?
I got it. 2.
Okay. So she's got 2. Why don't somebody give me some D100s here?
Go for it, Mike.
72.
Okay, table number 5 again. Roll again.
58.
6 measuring spoons. Okay, give me another one to see what she gets.
40.
Ooh, this might be pretty good. Let's see. Come on. There we go. Go ahead.
16.
You find 4 jars of baby food. Still good. Okay.
If it ever was.
I'm suspicious that this stuff never goes bad.
So, you have managed to, in addition to everything you guys just rolled, you have also found southwestern medicinal plants, a
The
guide,
book?
yes, a guide to local flora and their uses. Looks like that had been actively in use because it's got like little margins and marked up with some handwritten notes and some tags. You also find Home Repair for Beginners, the 2093 revised edition.
I mean, how much have things changed since 2093?
Compared to now, not a lot. Water harvesting for urban environments.
For what environments? For
Urban.
urban.
Yes, urban environments. You also find the DIY Survivalist 20th and 21st Century Edition. It's apparently a reprint of older Doomsday Prep stuff.
Oh, I know this book.
It's like, I knew there was somebody in the party who would probably have this book.
Arizona Wildlife and Desert Survival. Includes some notes about like animal behavior and tracking, and what to do if you get heat stroke. Unfortunately, it is a little burnt on the edges, like someone tried to burn it. Maybe change their mind. You also have emergency shelter architecture. You also have a digital reconstruction edition of the Boy Scout manual. So basically they took like a PDF or something that they had that was digital and actually printed it up.
Oh, wait. They printed out the digital edition? Is that what you
Yes.
said?
Yes.
Okay, so it is a stack of paper.
No, it's bound.
Okay.
Somebody just took it through print on demand. Then you also find Rogue Planet, Navigating Modern Myths and Supernatural Hoaxes. So that is what you find for outside of the other stuff for the books. You also find some additional items that look like they may have been brought in by people who had been survivors here. You find half a box of Nema ration bars. So there were 30. There's now 15. The packaging suggests an early January drop date.
Early last January or early next January?
No, it would have been last January.
Okay.
Meaning this was something that got dropped off just after the
drop
cataclysm.
date. Okay.
Yeah.
There's a civilian medical kit. The label itself says Luz de Vida Clinic.
That's right. I forgot that we started on Christmas.
Yep.
Right. Yep.
Inside the civilian medical kit contains some expired antibiotics, a cracked solar-powered thermometer. There are trauma wraps. So it's still semi-useful. You also find a USB stick labeled Net Archive 2096, Southwest Wilds.
$2096 what?
What's that?
2096 what? Net Archive 2096?
Southwest Wilds. Because it's a USB stick, obviously you don't know more than that. You have to plug it in. You find what appears to be some sort of makeshift spell notebook. It's all handwritten. But it's got like crude diagrams and arcane symbols and whatnot in it.
Wow.
You also find a roll of weatherized maps, which is the Phoenix metro area, circa 2092.
Anything marked on them, like locations?
Yes.
X marks the spot.
So basically, the maps were obviously outdated, but people were using them. Whoever the survivors were to track certain things. So like it's got like markings on it. Like at one point, it's they've got marked a spot that says sighted a glowing elk. Another comment says hive nest. That's on there, and then there's there's two no-go areas listed. One of which was actually State Farm Stadium.
Mm.
Then there is a combat knife that was left stabbed into a desk upstairs. There's initials of JR etched into the hilt. There's also some notebooks left next to the knife. One of which, the last one was left open. Most of it's illegible given some of the storm damage, but one of the final lines says, "Too quiet now, the girl hasn't moved since yesterday." And the last thing that's there is a library terminal tower, but currently powerless, obviously.
Is there likely to be like some sort of storage area network in like a network connected storage here in the building that would have their digital archives in it?
You're actually the tower you're looking at it.
That's it. Okay, well,
yeah,
we're taking it.
Okay.
And any cables required to plug it in.
Sure.
Nice.
So we're pushing library carts in and out to the hotel.
Yeah. Just a bunch of librarians.
Yeah, nothing to see here.
Nothing to see.
Do not return to shelf.
Yeah.
Please disperse. Okay, so with that, you managed to make a successful run. You can tell that the ash is starting to fall a little bit more intensive at this point now that wind has kicked back up. Which, unfortunately, without having any sort of weather services, it's hard to tell. But with the wind kicking up and setting the ash kind of spraying about a bit, it usually means that flying is going to be kind of difficult until it dies down. So just as a heads up.
Chip has sad face.
Well, that's fine. Doesn't seem like we've needed any aerial reconnaissance or anything yet. Hopefully we don't need that when we're headed to the Irish Cultural Center. That's where we're headed next, right?
It is, but that's also the place where we think there's a I believe it's a demon. Let me find my briefing. We believe there's also one of the demon slaver encampments near to the Irish Cultural Center. So yeah, if it's going to be hot anywhere, it's going to be there today.
Okay. All right. Well, then that'll just make my job a little harder. That's fine. That's fine. Everything's cool. I'll just read A Brave New World on the way there. And he picks up that big book that he had. He's like looking through it.
Okay. So we'll get back in the APC and head out, I guess.
Okay. So at this point, everybody starts moving out. Boy, we haven't seen Abby back for a bit.
Yeah.
Maybe she fell in.
Maybe, yeah. Well, they're both obviously drawing kid aggro, so.
Right.
All right, so at any rate, he takes the Hollow Point Hotel is going to end up taking side streets at this point to stay off the freeway. The APC ends up getting near Central Avenue and Indian School. And again, there's activity. It was a bottleneck that's right here in the middle, and the chief doesn't want to take any chances. So as he's approaching this bottleneck, it looks like there was a light rail train that got rammed by some vehicles. So it's, there's a good bit of wreckage there. He ends up calling out to Tap Tap at this point, who locks in some mini missiles from the front of the APC, spits out two of them, and just frags, the pile of mess that was in front, and it kind of goes flying and toppling back over. And at that point, he goes driving back through. And as you guys are going, and as you're coming up to Osborne, you're back much closer now to downtown, where there's a lot of larger skyscrapers, and even a mega complex that sits right at the corner of Osborne and Central. And as you start getting nearby, the chief ends up calling to the back. He says, "All right, we've got something up in the air. Just as a heads up, we can't identify it, but that's not exactly new. The visual makes it look like it's a flying reptile."
Oh, good. Now we have dragons. Or pterodactyls or something, but here there be dragons.
So what do you want to do? Do you want to engage? Do you want to try to get around? What should we do? Because it's kind of in our way.
I'd rather not engage a dragon.
See if I have some kind of spell.
I'm just going to call it a dragon because I don't know.
Can we get a gauge on how large the hostel is?
Let me check. And at this point he tells the co-pilot while he's doing that to back him up into a better defensible position where there's some cover.
On the Godzilla scale, how big is this thing?
Oh no.
This is...
Can we get a visual?
Yeah, it said he had a visual. Right now I'm looking up to see about the size ish.
But can we see it?
On the screen?
Or is it,
yes.
Or okay, there's a screen.
Mm-hmm.
I'm thinking about casting Sharp Eyes, which grants +2 dice to visual perception rolls.
Okay.
Would that be worth trying?
It sure could be, yeah.
And would I have to see it not on a screen?
No. It's magic.
Oh.
So 100%, so long as you've got a visual on it.
Okay, cool.
If you give me just 1 second, I'm still looking up the, here we go. That's what I was looking for. Now I need to find dragon. No. What the son of gun? Why is it being difficult? Oh, stupid. Sorry, the book I was looking up is apparently like an updated version of the conversion guide, and they actually purposely left them out for some other book. The problem with Palladium is they'll say stuff like that. It's like, oh, it's going to be in this book, and then they never publish that book.
Oh,
Right. Yeah.
Palladium was very, very bad about that. Or if they did eventually publish it, it was like years later.
that's no bueno.
No. So do I have it? Let me see. Of course not. Stupid. Let's see. None of this helps. Here we go. They did actually come out. Oh, wait a minute. That's oh my God. They citing a. Hold on one second. Sorry. Didn't mean to be unprepared for that one. Now that I'm looking for it, I'm even seeing comments online. It's like, did he ever finish this book? Probably not.
Oh, jeez.
Okay. Give me a second. Anyways, while we're waiting on that, did anybody have any questions for me? I'm trying to get that down.
Don't suppose we're anywhere near a ley line.
Actually, that is a great question.
No, that is a great question.
Well, yeah, because two of us are kind of useless off of ley lines.
Yeah, and
And you just cast a spell too.
anything.
And if we
Yeah.
if we do end up, fighting a dragon,
So I can't cast anything unless I'm within 1,000 feet.
no,
Right?
I have. I put up rules that's just going to cost more, and that's
Okay.
actually in the Discord chat.
Okay.
So where did I put it at? I know I
it's
pinned it.
it's a cost adjustment away from ley lines. But,
Yeah.
but
So
it's like triple. So
Okay.
inside the radius, then it is times 2 or times 3. It's definitely not feet from where you're at. Okay, so it's going to cost you triple the cost, but you can do it.
Is it worth casting it then? I mean, it's not expensive, but times 3, it's not cheap either. Guys.
I mean, we are going to a place that is likely to have conflict.
Okay, so if I don't, we still have
But
to figure
but
out
it's
what
also
to do
blue
about.
zone, possibly.
We still have to figure out what to do about this thing.
Right.
Well, we could drive around.
Yeah, that is obviously an option. But I need you to determine if you're going to cast a spell or not.
Let's not.
Okay.
I mean, first off, don't know if this thing is intelligent. I mean, are we talking about an animal guarding its territory, or are we talking about, a sentient creature?
Yeah, good question.
And, if we try to push it a sentient creature and we're wrong, we're in a fight with a, I don't know how many meters tall flying reptile.
Well, but if it's sentient, then theoretically it could be bargained with.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying. If it's sentient, yes. But if we roll up to it and say hello and it's not, if it's just a big animal, it's going to try to eat us.
True.
And there are potentially a group of people living near Demon Cult who might need our help.
This thing, based on where we're at, it's not going to be that far from our destination. So, and if it flies, I mean, it's going to move around. So, up to you, Chief, whether we deal with this as like a threat to take care of it for people in the area, or you could even have me fly up to it and say hello. See if it says "Hey, hi" back. Up to you.
Okay, so I finally found it. God, it took way long. That irks me. I don't like causing delays like this. It's my bad. So, and of course they don't give me like. Oh, here we go. About time. So it is about 20 feet tall.
That's not as bad as I thought.
About 50 feet long with a wingspan of about 90
That's
feet.
more like it. Wingspan of what?
90 feet.
Okay, that's more what I thought.
Yeah, sorry. They are a little different than your D&D breeds. So
Yeah.
What color is it?
yeah, you're looking for the chromatic colors. You're like, oh no.
It's a black dragon.
It's a
No,
silver
no,
dragon. They're
it's
the good
friendly.
guys.
Does it have 3 heads?
No, it does not. It only has one. I'm actually in the process of getting a picture for you.
Oh, sweet.
It is. It's brownish in color. And so now that we've got that detail out of the way, let me go ahead and post a picture in the Facebook chat. There you go.
Oh. Okay. Wow.
And it is a dragon, not a wyvern.
It is a dragon because it has 4 legs and 2 wings.
I have a friend
therefore
who would
it's a
get very upset about Game of Thrones. It's just like, these are wyverns, not dragons.
Yeah, well, I did the same thing with True Blood.
Yeah.
Those are dogs, not werewolves. So, but you do see it overhead. It does not look like necessarily it has spotted you as of yet. It is up to you guys to see how you want to handle that.
I would like to lean on my intuition
Okay.
since we have that stat now. Should I do perception or intelligence? I mean, they're the same, I guess, but
Perception.
six, because I have an exploding 10.
Oh, wow.
Nice.
Okay, well, you don't know really anything about magical creatures as of yet. Obviously, you know that they are a thing.
Is that going to be the difference between like occult and arcane theory?
What's that?
Like, what's the difference between them?
So occult is going to be used for your spells and just general knowledge. Arcane theory is the world that you know now.
Okay.
So it's very different. In that sense, it's going to be very different than our occult. But as you examine, as you guys take a moment to examine that, and you it keeps the camera on it. It looks as if the creature is had been flying around and coming to a stop on the building, the mega building that's nearby. and in a moment, you end up seeing it like vanish completely.
Oh. Can we switch to infrared?
Yeah.
I mean, I say to the team, can we check across the spectrum?
Yeah, they start going through it and they're not seeing anything.
Do I want to use my PPE? It's so precious right now. Shoot, and I'm off a ley line. That would take all my PPE just to go look for it. I'm gonna skip it. But let's give it a few minutes and see if it reappears, and if not, let's just go forward with our guns ready.
Okay. So you wait and you delay, checking to see if anything happens. And you don't see it again, and you don't see any signs out and about.
All right, let's proceed, but guns up. Let's be ready. Do you want to suit up, Chip?
Right. Will do. I'll be ready just in case you need me to launch.
Specialist Stone, that's what I should call you.
So yeah, Chip goes ahead and suits up in his Silver Eagle.
Okay.
Samus.
Sure. So you are ready to rock. At this point, you so they, at the sign of this not actually being potentially a threat, like they had thought, but the turret, well, I should say not the turret, the missile launcher is spinning around and keeping that building, on target at this point, ready to rain missile fire on it if for some reason that thing shows up again and seems aggressive. Obviously, it put a little bit of a delay in your travel plans, but you were correct. Looking at the map, you weren't terribly far from that location. So as you continue down past Thomas, and you start getting closer to McDowell, you start to see that there are markings on some of the buildings.
What do the markings look like?
Tribal of some form.
Are there different markings on different buildings?
Yes.
Okay.
Most of them are of one type, and it looks like a skull with fangs, a human skull.
Do we said we had been able to by the 4 distinct tribes of mutants?
Oh,
Do
right.
we-
Yeah.
Do we recognize these as mutant symbols?
You're kind of breaking up there, Brittany. I don't know if you have something else going in the background.
Do we recognize these as mutant symbols?
Yes.
Can we do we know which tribe it is, and therefore what we might be dealing with?
So they don't have like an official name outside of what the group has labeled them, and it's based off of their imagery, skulls with fangs. The notes that you have for them indicate that these particular types of creatures are obsessed with cybernetics. The symbol looks like a bone white skull, kind of a brand that might be burned into flesh or armor. And when on the sides of like buildings or whatnot, it looks very similar, but like more like with paint. This particular group is known for leaving its enemies alive so they can desiccate them later for their cybernetics, if they have any.
They're reavers.
Awesome.
But as you start getting near the remains of the old spaghetti factory, you end up seeing that part of the street has been forcibly blocked off with old vehicles, including the line that went down here that the light rail used to go on. So they can blow their way past, but they know they're also very close to the Irish Cultural Center too.
This looks like they did this on purpose, and they might be doing that for their defense, for all we know.
Or this is an ambush for anybody who comes along.
So at that point, the chief turns back to Marcus at this point, and he says, "So do you want me to open up a frequency or a channel or something? What are we doing?"
Do we know how many tend to be in each band? Ouch!
No.
Shadow. We don't know how many they travel in.
No. Mm-mm. Just that they're large groups.
Well, if we blow our way through, they're going to come for us, and we're going to, we don't want to lead them directly to the cultural center on top of these other people.
Yeah.
On the other hand, they're, corpse robbing mutants. Are they cannibals? Is that what we were saying? I'm getting lost with all the monsters out here.
That was something else.
Okay. Oh, this would be the demon group.
But you can tell from here that there is a blue. You can see the blue zone nearby.
Like through them?
Like through what?
Like you said the street is blocked, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
All right.
You can see it up because it illuminates part of the sky.
Okay, but I mean, is it past the blockade?
Yeah.
Okay. So
the blockade where you guys are at, if you're looking at a map, is right at Central Avenue and Linwood Street, right by the old spaghetti factory.
Yeah, that doesn't help me.
Well, you could always Google old spaghetti factory in Phoenix.
It's actually It's called the old spaghetti factory.
Yes.
Yeah.
Look, I'm in the South, and people will say things like the old barn.
Oh, I know.
So we say the old spaghetti factory. I'm picturing like just an abandoned factory.
Oh no, we literally mean it here.
Yep. It's good.
It is good. Should go.
Well, I'm also thinking we could call ahead.
Spaghetti.
Oh.
You're getting call ahead.
Well, we can call the cultural center.
Yeah.
Let's do that. So see if we can ring them up.
Okay. So communications, the man arming communications, that is I gotta go back to look at my notes. So Crackle, comms officer. So he places a call out, repeats it, twice to try to get somebody, on the line. Then he says, "Chief, I've got somebody. What do you want me to say? You want me to just post this up inside?"
Yeah.
Okay, so he turns it so the mic will catch you.
Hello, Cultural Center. This is NEMA Team Echo 9. Do you read us?
Affirmative. This is the Tranquil Zone.
The what zone?
Tranquil Zone.
We are in your neighborhood and wanted to come make contact, but we also have found, looks like your neighbors. Are they unfriendlies? Are they friendlies? Can you advise on how we should approach?
Tell us again what exactly you mean by the neighbors. Give a
There's
description.
there's markings out here with fanged skulls.
They are definitely unfriendly.
Understood.
We don't want that particular vehicle getting too close to our people. As far as we can tell, that thing is heavily armored.
Yeah.
Why don't you come to a stop at the in the parking lot of the old spaghetti factory, and we will meet you in the neighborhood on Willetta Street.
Will do. Be there in 10 minutes.
Copy that.
Or an appropriate amount of time. I don't
Correct.
know.
That's fine.
All right, we could really use Jackie.
So what I think we'll do here, since we haven't seen hide nor hair of Callie or Abby at this point, we'll go ahead and call it here since it's getting late. Right in the middle of this particular scene, so that way you guys can start it off next game right here. Since all we have are the 3 of you remaining, why don't we just go RP votes here real quick? So starting with Dale.
Let's see. Gonna go with Marcus being the leader in a brave new world. Very good. Very good. Like it.
Okay. Brittany.
Ditto.
Okay. Mike.
I'll go with Brittany.
Okay. So Mike ends up winning the RP vote. Mike ends up getting an additional 2 bits to add to his character sheet.
Time to learn to shoot a gun.
Yes. All right. So that is going to be the game for tonight. Our next game is coming up next week, next Wednesday on the 18th, to be Star Wars. Pardon me. Starting at 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. And then the 20th is Mythic Savannah, which will be on the 20th at 7:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. And then on the 21st, our Marvel Superheroes game, Modern Age Heroes, at 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So thank you guys all for hanging out with us and hanging out with us and chatting with us and the follows. And we will catch you all again next time. Good night, guys.
Night.